On April 20th, 1999, Eric Harris and Dalen Klebold led an assault on their fellow students at Columbine High in Littleton, Colorado. Before turning their guns on themselves, Harris and Dalen murdered 13 people and wounded 23 others. Afterwards, a look into their life showed that both Harris and Dalen enjoyed playing a violent, bloody shoot-'em-up video game known as Doom. Now, one question that this raises is, does violent video games make violent people? Now, I don't believe so, and today I'd like to talk to you about why that is. Let's begin by looking at the correlation that some have found between violent behavior and video games. In the time that video games have been around, they have come a long way. Since early video games like Ping Pong and Pac-Man, to more current games today like Grand Theft Auto, violence has seemed to be on an almost exponential rise. Former U.S. Surgeon General C. Everett Koop once claimed that arcades and home video games were among the top 3 causes of family violence. However, in a 2001 U.S. Surgeon General report, the strongest risk factors in violent acts like school shootings come from mental stability and quality of home life, not on the media exposure. In a study by Karen E. Dill and Craig A. Anderson, violent video games were considered to be more harmful than violent movies or television due to their interactive and engrossing nature. However, studies into play behavior show us that we as primates make a basic distinction between play fighting and actual combat. Play allows kids to express feelings and impulses that have to be carefully held in check during their real-world interactions. Here's where media effects research becomes problematic. A kid punching a toy designed for this purpose understands his or her actions on those terms. Such research only shows us that violent play leads to more violent play. So in all these studies, why are there so many conflicting results? Is it possible that research into video game violence is biased? Patrick Kirkgard of the University of Essex believes so. He wrote in an International Journal of Liability and Scientific Inquiry that there is scant evidence that video games are anything more than harmless and do not lead to real-world aggression. Moreover, his research shows that previous work is biased towards the opposite conclusion. Take, for example, the theory that violent game play leads to violence and aggression. However, according to federal crime statistics, the rate of juvenile crime in the U.S. is at a 30-year low. For example, in 2005, there were 1,360,000 violent crimes reported in the United States, compared to 1,423,000 the year before. It's almost a 4.5% drop in just a single year. Researchers have also found that people serving time for violent crimes typically consume less media before committing their crime than the average person in the general population. Is it true that young offenders who have committed school shootings in America have also been video game players? Yes. But young people in general are more likely to play video games. 90% of boys and 40% of girls play video games today. Though even with these studies showing that the effects of video games on teen violence have been exaggerated, the video game companies have attempted to meet people halfway. Similar to the motion picture rating system, the Entertainment Software Rating Board has been rating games since 1994 to aid consumers in determining games' content and its suitability for play. This is done on a 6-scale system covering a range from early childhood to adult-only titles. This rating is displayed on both the front and back of a video game with a brief description on what the game may include. It is important, especially for parents, to check the rating of a video game and determine if the content is suitable for those that will be playing it. Video game designers have even begun to give players a choice of their content during video game play. For example, a video game that recently came out called Brutal Legend has, in the beginning of the game, offering players a choice to have foul language and gore removed during the game. In today's violence-driven game market, choices and warning are being offered in an attempt to assist consumers in the purchase of video games. In conclusion, I hope you now see that video games that are violent do not lead specifically to violent acts. That it is a deeper issue, such as quality of home life and mental stability, that lead to violent behavior. Just because an aggressive person may play aggressive video games does not mean that it was that game that made them aggressive. Thank you.